I would divide them into two sort of types. There's the tangible services, which I can sort of quickly run through, and then there are the intangible, by which I mean that we do a lot of positive work for the industry as a whole, in terms of the infrastructure of the industry, you know, the sort of governance of it. We are involved in lobbying the government, you know, because from time to time there are issues which raise their head, which might not be, unless we were to represent the interests of the advertising agency community, might not be to the best advantage of our members. So we do stuff like that. We put together think pieces on big issues around how agencies should be paid, for example. We have a tremendous reputation for understanding how creativity, which is what we do, ideas, can affect the performance of clients and their business. So we are the kind of recognised experts in advertising effectiveness. All of this, if you're a member, you can take part in, you can learn from, you can help to take that learning to strengthen your own understanding of the business we're in. So they're the sort of intangible, and the tangible things are things like training. So this year, I think 800 young people that have only been in the business a year will take our foundation certificate, which is really a grounding, a basic examination in the fundamentals of advertising. So we provide that, and then we provide different levels of exams as you go up through your career. So that adds to the professionalism of your staff. We have a legal service here. I mean, advertising is you can imagine from time to time you want to run an ad. It's a legal minefield, you know, if you've got a picture of, I don't know, Big Ben in the background. Do you need permission for that? You know, all those sorts of things. So we're answering questions like that, questions on copyright infringement. We help a lot of our members with their contracts with their clients. We do stuff like that. And over and beyond that, we set up quite a lot of trade missions to other countries where we think our members' services would be valuable. So recently we've been to China. This year we're thinking of going to Brazil later in the year. So there's a lot of things that we do, and being a member here allows you to take part in as many or as few of those as you wish. But to sort of put the thing in context, the IPA has been going for nearly 100 years now. So it's very much part of the establishment of the advertising agency industry in the UK. Social media is a phenomenon, isn't it? I mean, it's a phenomenon. And I mean, we've just been through the Olympics, and we've seen the way in which people use social media to comment on and sort of take part in almost the conversation around the Olympics in a way that wasn't possible a few years ago. And a corollary of that is that you see athletes, for example, who were relatively unknown, maybe only known within their specific sport, like some of these cyclists or rowers. Within days, their personal followers on Twitter or Facebook have gone up to the hundreds of thousands from being, you know, a few hundred. So that's massively interesting to their sponsors, obviously. But to come back to your question about old media, if you like, or traditional media and social media, the answer is it's not an either or. The answer is that you, as a media planner nowadays in an advertising agency, you have to be competent and you have to be able to understand how the whole world of media works, because we know from the research that's going on that old media, if I can use that word, let's call it traditional media, remains a powerful way of creating brand awareness and familiarity with brands, saliency, all of these things. So if you're building a brand, television, national press, magazines, posters, these things are still very, very important to you. In fact, it's quite hard to think of a new brand other than a brand that was created for the internet, a conventional product. It's hard to think of one that's built itself up on social media or through the internet alone. creative industries in the UK, not just advertising, the creative industries across the piece, is one of the things we're very, very good at. In fact, if you add together all of the creative industries, by which I mean in addition to advertising, film, design, fashion, computer games, all of these things, if you add them all together to form a creative industry sector, it's twice the size of the nearest competitor Britain has in Europe in terms of the share it has of our total economy. We're really, really good at it. We're one of the big, in fact, I think we are even now bigger than the USA in terms of exporting television program formats. So it's not surprising that when it comes to advertising, which is very much related to all this, we are probably alongside the US, the most dominant market in the world. And there are a lot of worldwide global campaigns that originate here in London. So yes, we are very good at it. We do have a lead. We don't take that for granted, and I think as markets like China and other Asian markets, the South American markets, become bigger and bigger economically and in terms of their ability to sort of navigate the world of advertising and use advertising to help their brands grow, you know, good agencies will emerge in these markets. And you know, I'm sure we don't have any divine right to be the best at it, but we work hard at it, and we think we're pretty good at it. I think there is such a thing as bad advertising. To my mind, bad advertising is when you spend a lot of money and the effect that it creates in the minds of your target audience is pretty minimal. You know, and I would say that a lot of the advertising we see, which is quite bland, by which I mean it doesn't really challenge you, it doesn't really surprise you, it's not unexpected, it's pretty much ordinary stuff, is what I personally would call bad advertising, because it could have been so much better. Whether it's a waste of money is a different matter, because we also know from lots of research that's done into how the subconscious works, that people do take on messages, even though they may not be consciously aware of the fact that they are looking at an ad and reading it and thinking about it. Just seeing a brand, just having a brand around and that brand talking to you, even if you're not listening, over a period of time, builds in your mind a familiarity. And in advertising, familiarity breeds favorability. Yeah, and therefore, you know, if you think about the way you behave yourself, you know, sometimes you know, if you're going through a supermarket, you don't always just buy the cheapest product in every sector. Sometimes you just feel attracted to a brand, or you feel that a brand is more you than another brand. It might be a few pennies more. You don't really care. That's because of the effect that all of that advertising has had on you over time.